guys, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna start this video today, but I did want to talk about Tuna and what happened to her, and I feel like I can't move on unless I explain it to you guys and tell you guys what happened. So this all happened the other night when we were both in our rooms. I was downstairs in my room working on my cosplay and Sausage was upstairs, and we hear something outside. I have a doggy door, so Cats and Tuna, they can just go outside whenever they want, go pee. I heard a dog barking and I thought it was just normal. I honestly didn't even think it was Tuna because there's another dog that sounds similar to her and I thought it was the neighbor's dog.
All our neighbors have dogs. They're barking all day, every
They're
day.
always barking.
It's nothing.
And
it's not like, oh, there's an intruder. It happens all the time.
Kaz barks, Tuna barks. And
it's a chain reaction in the neighborhood. One goes, all 20 go.
And if I hear them bark a lot, I will go out and check on them and be like, shut up, or what are you doing?
And then all of a sudden we heard her yelp. And then all the dogs in the neighborhood started barking.
I call her several times. Tuna, Tuna, Tuna. I usually call her once she comes right away or sees me, and she didn't come to me and I started panicking, and I call him down and we both go outside and look for her and she's not in the backyard, and then I go to the gate on the side of the backyard and then she's on the other side of the gate. There is no way she could possibly get out of the backyard. I don't know how she got out of the backyard.
The worst was going through my mind when I saw that she wasn't in the backyard, because I've read coyote stories. Because a year ago her brother said he saw a coyote where we used to live in our old house. I would never let Kaz out by himself. I would always be out there when he was peeing. Small dogs and cats, they get dragged away. The coyote goes for the necks and picks them up and drags them away. So we run over to the gate, open the gate, and there she is. She's on the floor, scared. It looked like she was scared of us because we were yelling for her, and she looked like she thought she was in trouble.
So I bring her inside and I put her in the playpen with Kaz, and she's just really scared. I'm like, what happened? She looked fine,
she's shaking,
she was just
she's
shaking
visibly
and really
shaking.
scared. But she was walking, she was wagging her tail a little bit, she just looked really scared. So I picked her up and she had saliva all over her neck. After we saw the saliva all over her neck, we went upstairs, I cleaned her off, I wiped her paws and everything. I saw her paw had some blood on it and I thought that was what it was. Her paw, she probably just stepped into something. And then I noticed the stuff on her neck, it was saliva from another dog, and I just took soap, I started washing it off with water and stuff. I was moving her fur because I saw a little bit of blood in the saliva, probably a drop of blood. I thought it was from her paw.
And then so I took her and picked her up like this, we get a better look, and then we saw that there was a hole in her throat.
And there's a big bite mark,
here.
It was all blood inside it, but you couldn't see it because it wasn't all over the...
There's a hole in her throat.
We rushed into the car, I wrapped her up with a blanket, and I just held her the whole time. We went to the nearest vet.
I tried looking on the map for an emergency animal. I know they're around here, and we didn't even go to the closest one because it didn't show on the map. I didn't have time to look at reviews.
Only one of them showed on the map. Usually when we go to some place like this, we check reviews.
It was less than 10 minutes away. It was I didn't want to spend time, looking up all these places. We were in a panic.
When we were driving there, she was just sitting. She was really scared, but she was moving around. She could move her neck. She even got up to adjust herself. She seemed fine, but we didn't know how severe it was, so we took her anyway.
We've never been in this situation, and I've read all these horror stories. We get to the hospital, we check her in, they take her back, the doctor explains to us, and the doctor convinces us to let her stay overnight for an extra $1,300. I accepted. It's I know you didn't want to leave her, but I thought it was best for her because they were saying all these things our blood sugar was low and they were going to do an x-ray on her head and everything.
So they pretty much made us believe that she had to stay overnight, but I didn't want to leave her.
They convinced us that it was much better, and it's I didn't want to bring her home and then she would die at home. And they make it seem like everything should be fine. They're going to watch her and patch her up.
Then we went in before we left. We went to go see her. She was fine. She was on the table. They had her in a kennel thing where they did the treatment to her, and they had an IV into her paw. She was just looking at me her tail was wagging, and she looked fine to me. But that's pretty much the last time I saw her, and that's the last time I saw her like that. I thought everything was going to be fine leaving her there because what are you supposed to do when something like this happens? You're supposed to take them to a vet. The vet is supposed to know what to do. you know, and they're supposed to make sure nothing goes wrong.
That's their job.
Yeah. And then before we left, they made us sign this paper, and this was what really, really worried me. They were like going over options if your dog goes into pulmonary arrest or cardiac arrest. It was pretty much when their heart stops beating and they have to revive them. They were like, so if your dog needs to get revived, would you pay like $500, $600, whatever? So we just checked the best one. They told us the best one to check. We were like, okay, that's fine. And that was what really worried me. How could something go that wrong where they have to revive your dog? They assured me, like, even if you just go out to get food for 5 minutes, we'd have to make you sign this. So I was like,
because okay. They don't have time to call you and say, hey, your dog died. We can do CPR right now. Like, they don't have time for that. It's either no CPR, which is free because they're not doing anything, but they let the dog die. CPR for like $500-$600. So we went with CPR. We wait. It's like 5 in the morning now. This happened like just after midnight. We're about to go to bed. We've been worried. I call. Doctor says everything's fine. Like, she's doing really good. It wasn't even a trachea laceration.
That's the worst case. That's if the actual bite wound goes through the throat and actually damages the trachea. But it wasn't that. It was just like, cuts.
Doctor said she was doing amazing. Everything was really good.
And that she was extremely
She was on
lucky
pain
because
meds.
It could have been so much worse. Because we all figured a coyote came because she was in heat. Apparently when a dog is in heat, a female dog, all the dogs in the neighborhood, including coyotes, wolves, any other animal, they can smell them from around 3 miles away.
We feel like she was a target.
There are a lot of coyotes.
There's a lot
in
of coyotes
area.
in Arizona.
We've seen them a lot.
We've seen them far off on the way other side of the neighborhood. I always took extra care of them, like during times I did see coyotes, but they were far off, and we're much more in the neighborhood. You know, there's much more families with guard dogs and kids and everything. I never thought they could get into our house and do this and attack Tuna. But what we think is that she thought it was a dog that she could play with. They can jump the fences very easily. They've been known to jump 7, 9 foot, 10 foot fences. So they can jump anything. On and jump over. I'm thinking she was trying to jump and get it. And then he jumped over, the coyote jumped over. And Kaz was inside with me at the time. Like, she heard something, she runs outside, and then barks. What we think is the dog picked her up and then flung her over the fence. Or jumped over with her, but yeah. it somehow got her, she can't slip through the gate. It got her over the fence. She can't get through the gate. There's no way she can get out of the backyard, but she got out of the backyard from the coyote jumping over, because the wounds inflicted, like the coyotes, for small dogs, they go for the neck, so it doesn't make sense that it would be anything else but a coyote. There's other stories like this, like it's happened to others all over the state. There's a bunch of stories where the coyote jumps into the backyard and then kills the dog, eats them, but she was able to get away because all the dogs in the neighborhood started barking, and I'm guessing it scared her. So after we call her and check up on her, we were able to go to sleep. They said everything was fine. Just a little air in and around the lungs, and they just wanted to do like chest x-rays in the morning, and they were going to call me at like 8, 9 in the morning. So we go to sleep at like 5 a.m. and I wake up to a call a little after 9 a.m. I answer, and it's like, it's the worst call. She went into pulmonary arrest. And I didn't really know what it was at the time. I didn't know how bad it was. They said they had to use CPR to revive her. And at this point, we were thinking, how could things get this bad? Like, I just called 4 hours ago. And they said everything was fine. And now she pretty much died, and they had to revive her. Well, first on the phone, they asked me, do we have permission to perform CPR again? They say yes, of course. Like, I'm not going to give up on her. So we rush over to check on her, and she's asleep, and she has a bunch of things hooked up to her. It's not Tuna anymore. I try to talk to her. I'm like, Tuna, Tuna. I do my voice that she really likes. And I saw her open her eyes like a little bit, like she tries to see me. I want to think she saw me, like she was just really stiff. And they had her on so much drugs that like she wasn't there. And at this point, it's another doctor. I had a really bad feeling about this doctor. The first thing when we go in, she asks me, how much do you want to invest in your pet? Of course, she's talking about money. How much money do you want to put in your pet? And I feel like some people like this take advantage of us. Like, they see the stingray and they want to take advantage of us. It's my baby's life. Like, I don't care how much money it is, but I don't want someone to take... She's not a dog to us. She's not a pet. Like, Kaz and Tuna, we call them dogs. You know, we call them names, but like... We don't have actual children. These are our actual children. I feel like people don't understand. When I used to live with my family and we had a dog, it wasn't like this. It was just a pet to us, just a dog. A family pet, you know. We're together. We don't have any kids. Our dogs are our kids. These are our kids. We feel that. This is our family. We always tell each other, like, we love our family so much. We're so happy together. Yeah.
And I see Tuna as like a daughter to me. Like, she's everything to me.
She was mommy's baby. Like, she always followed her around everywhere, working, eating.
Everywhere I went, she followed me
doesn't
around.
matter.
And she'd sit there, and every time I talked to her, she'd always wag her tail. She was so happy to see me every time she saw me. She loved me.
She was the baby of the family. You know, you can't pet Kaz because Tuna comes over and like growls at him and jumps on him and pushes him out of the way for the attention. So the doctor explains to us that dogs don't really live through this, and there may be internal bleeding. Any chance like she's gonna need a blood transfusion. They could do surgery to fix it, but they can't do surgery or give her an anesthetic until she stabilizes, because right now they're keeping her alive with drugs and everything. She had a tube in her mouth, tubes, like wires and tubes all in her.
And what we don't understand is how it got that bad.
It's going to be around $3,000 a day at this point just to have such a chance, like less than 20%. Or even less. Like, we're reading that it almost never works. It's not just some pet. Like, if it means her life, we're gonna do it. They have to really keep an eye on her and get her to stabilize. If we don't call you, that's good news. It means she's doing fine. If we call you, it's gonna be bad.
So I say bye to her. We go home. We go take a nap because we didn't get any sleep. And then we wake up to the worst phone call.
Like, I wake up miserable. Like I already feel sick. She went into pulmonary arrest again. She died again. And they revived her again. And at this point, there's no chance of survival. She said she was having a seizure, like she started foaming and everything before she went into pulmonary arrest again. So it's like, even on some miracle that she would live, it wouldn't beat Tuna. If she's not gonna make it, and they're trying to explain to us that they can't do anything because she's not stabilizing. Like, they're keeping her alive, and her body's not making it on her own.
So they were saying the problem right now was there was internal bleeding and they needed to perform surgery on her, but they couldn't do it unless she stabilized on herself. So at this point they kept giving her meds, kept trying to drug her and make her stabilize on her own, but she wouldn't. She just wouldn't stabilize no matter what they did, no matter what they gave her.
At this point they're saying it's over. Like, we can keep doing it, but it's not gonna work. Dogs do not live through pulmonary arrest, let alone twice. They don't make it.
There's a 10% chance that they would come back the first time. And the second time.
Like, not even, and then the second time it's
There's
nothing.
Like no chance.
It's over. You know, she's just gonna be in pain and everything, and so we made a hard decision. I had to say, let her go.
We had the option to come in and euthanize her. I couldn't be there to do that to her. And like they said, I could hold her and they would do it, but I didn't want to remember her like that. I didn't want to see that happen to her and be that my last memory of her. I would prefer my last memory of her to be the night that it happened, when I was streaming and she was sitting next to me and she was wagging her tail, and we were just looking at her and it was like, what a nice girl. Like, she's the best dog. She's so nice. She's so cute. She's so perfect. We love her so much. And I didn't want to see her as something that's not Tuna that wouldn't remember me, because they said she was brain dead. And
like, when we were there, just so upset and crying. You know, they seem so fake, like, oh, we're so sorry, but it's so fake. It's not. You're not.
They do this thing where I feel like it's the generic response to everybody.
She wasn't even calling Tuna a girl half the time. It was like he, him. Like, you don't even know the dog that's sitting there dying.
I didn't want to record this video as soon as it happened because I was so mad at them, and I thought they killed my baby. Like, I thought they did it on purpose.
We were worried like, they are charging us. We're not stupid. We know they're trying to get so much money out of this, but I kept going with it because I thought, okay, if I keep giving them money, we'll get our baby back.
And the fact is, when it comes to Tuna, we don't care about the money, but we don't want people taking advantage of us. I still don't know what to think. I don't want to blame them. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. I don't want to blame somebody that didn't do it, you know?
We have all these what ifs in our mind.
There's a lot.
Like, what if we didn't even see the hole in her throat because it wasn't even an actual laceration? What if we didn't see it? She would have been home with us. She needs attention. What if we had just taken her home? We could have woke up and she would have been dead in the cage or something, or we would have had her in bed with us and she would have been dead. But then we would have killed ourselves over how we didn't let her stay in the hospital and let them watch her. Can't help but think that if we decided to take her home, she would have been fine with her family. But yeah, if she died, it would have been
either way.
The same amount of regrets.
I wanted to bury her. I didn't want to cremate her.
Yeah.
I don't really believe in cremation. If I died, I wouldn't want someone to burn the body and just have the ashes. Like,
and there's horror stories of people getting the wrong ashes and stupid shit.
And ashes mixed in with your dog's ashes of other dogs' ashes, so you don't know whose ashes you're really getting. I wanted to bury her in the backyard because I feel like she would be in the house with us forever. I feel like that's what she wanted. She would want to be in the backyard and
she'd want to be with mommy and daddy and Kaz. We go and pick her up and Leah doesn't want to come in. He puts her down on the table and he leaves the room, lets me have some alone time. And like, I open and I just can't believe it. And she's there and she's stiff. So I bring her out to the car and like I see Leah screaming in the car and it's just really hard. So we just come home, we sit in the middle of the living room as soon as we get in.
I opened the box, I saw her, I started crying. She was so stiff and hard and cold, and
her ears weren't pink.
I got to hold her. I'm happy I got to hold her.
Kaz saw her, he's super excited and he starts licking her all over and trying to wake her up. And
when she's sleeping, he wakes her up by licking her face.
He was crying
so
much. I've never heard that high-pitched cry from him before. Like, I've heard him yell, but this was worse. We found a good spot where she would always be with us in the backyard. And so Leah sits on the furniture with her, holding her, and while I dig a hole. By the time I'm done digging the hole, we put him inside. I don't want Kaz to see us putting her underground, because he doesn't understand. He's just wondering why she's not waking up.
The whole day after we buried her, he went to every corner of the house and was sniffing everywhere.
He thinks she's gonna come home one day. Like, he's just waiting, you know, maybe she's at Greta's house or Mama's house.
Our biggest regret is that we didn't take her home. Her injuries weren't as serious as we thought they were. The reason she died and the reason that she had cardiac arrest and everything was because of shock and trauma.
Like, we understand, you know, that when you get attacked, it's bad, but it's like...
Yeah. She can't be left alone. And if she was with me and our family and at home, I feel like she would have healed.
She would have calmed down. Like, she was shaking when we first brought her in, but she would have calmed down because of Mommy.
I don't know really how to end this video. If you guys have a similar situation or anything, any stories that you want to share with me, I will read all of your comments, and I do appreciate you guys watching this video.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us. Like, it's been hard. Making videos helps, like, doing stuff.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.